live streaming for you to make up for 2 gigs I missed last week and the week before. The Big Untidy in Reading, and I was hoping to do a slot at the Lyra Poetry Festival in Bristol. Sadly, I couldn't get there due to coronavirus. So here's my set. It's not black and white. It's not cut and dried. It's not tooth for tooth, and it's not eye for eye. Well, that's what Jesus said. At least that's what he meant. Doling out the daily bread, ripping up the sacraments. He had the Bible in his hand, tearing out the pages, ripping out the hate passed down through the ages. It's not life or death, and it's not do or die. It's not the battle's noise, and it's not the glory boys. Fighting face to face, going toe to toe, bloody blade on blade, bleeding blow for blow. They heard 5 minutes more till the glory boys, in a whisper louder than the battle's noise. 3 minutes more came the sergeant's cry, don't strike that match or light that light. 2 minutes more till it's time to go. 1 minute more till the whistle blows. Then it's up the ladder and over the top. Too brave to run, too scared to stop. Was there talk of surrender? A murmur of despair? Did you detect the drop in pressure that let in the fear? Did you hear? Did you see the men on their knees begging, please, please not me? Was there talk of defeat in the enemy camp? Could you smell the fear from across the border? When we leaned our ladders, all doubt had passed. So we scaled the walls, put up our flags, no questions asked. Now this next one came out of thinking about a trip I made to Belfast a couple of years ago, and just the various bits of terrible, terrible things that are going on in the world today. And it's entitled The Wall, bracket, her story. Castle wall, city wall, fire wall, concrete wall, West Bank wall, brick wall, stone wall, peace wall, Mexican wall. She was stopped at the checkpoint by a young man with a gun, defending the border, a line drawn by men who knew no better. Were there no better men then? A perfect oxymoron, you cry. Are these men blissed out, high on ignorance and lies, low on humanity, honesty and sanity? Noble men and royalty who got to write our history. But, you say, what about her story? They drew a line across the map, then they built a wall. For God's sake, tear it down and make the country whole. Built with bricks of blood and bone and mortar mixed with tears. This fragile, foreign, fake frontier. And there are no better men to change the course of history. Let it be her story that rubs out the tyranny. Let it be her story, the story our children read, the lesson they learn, the vision they see. All forms of family life unfold on both sides of the wall. So tear it down and let her story be told. Let her story be the story that makes the country whole. Let her story be the story our children read, the lesson they learn, the vision they see. garden sheds and barbecues, kids in the garden shooting hoops, football strip pegged out to dry, all along the borderline. All kinds of human life unfold on both sides of the wall. And let her story be the story our children read. Let her vision form the life they lead. Let her lesson be the lesson they learn. And let her passion be the passion inside them that burns. This next one dedicated to Robert Fisk, based on something that he actually did. He actually traced bombs dropped in the Middle East and took them back to their manufacturers to hold them to task. And it's entitled The Arms Factory Tour. They were sure they didn't do tours. The hologram on the door said, no, we don't do tours. And the 3D figure on the screen didn't seem keen. He hissed, if you insist, you'll end up on a list of suspected terrorists. The answer was clear, the message was plain. Do not ask again about a fragment of shell that was pulled from the shoulder of a boy on a stretcher in a burnt out town centre. This fragment of shell is coming home to the factory where it was born. Untouched by human hands, robots' arms at their command. This fragment of shell has a story to tell. And hellfire came like steel drops of rain and fell on the children's game. And still rain stopped play. And hellfire raged over the children's game. And it rained on the ambulance that came, and the passengers, they prayed, but I'm afraid God wasn't listening that day. And hellfire came, but it left a trace, a series of numbers, a place and a date. This fragment of shell has a story to tell. The next couple are about members of my family who sadly died over the last year or so. The first one's entitled Signposts. On the road, we see signposts. They don't tell us what to do. They just show us the way, should we be so inclined. And on the way, we meet people. They open our minds. They don't tell us what to do. We just have to listen and then decide. The next one entitled Too Soon, and it's influenced by a famous Auden poem, Funeral Blues. Reset all the clocks. Turn your phones back on. Shout from the rooftops. He is dead. He is not gone. Bang a gong. Let off a glitter bomb. And beat loudly on the drum, for there is still good work to be done. And let the mourners come in floral shirts and summer dresses, painted nails and smiling faces. Let the mourners come in floral shirts and summer dresses, painted nails and smiling faces. For make no mistake, we are here today to celebrate. And for Christ's sake, give the dog a juicy bone, so we can howl at the moon. Too soon, and all together as one, he is dead. He is not gone. Now I'm going to wind up this set with one of my more recent poems. It won't be found in The Bonfire, which a book that my son James designed and produced for me, but it's entitled Moira Egnish, 21st Century Warrior Queen. With what shall I fill this page? Shall I fill it with rage? Or with tears? Or praise for warrior queens down the years? That's how I'll fill this page. Calling Boudica, Ethelfled, Cordelia, Maeve, Amy, Bonnie and Mary Read. That's how I'll fill this page. But wait, the warrior queen that I have in mind fights battles of a different kind. No helmet, no breastplate, no sword and no shield. She knows not of battalions on battlefields. But her battle lines are drawn, not so the eye can see, across the table in the dining room every night at tea. And Moira Egnish is her name, and the warrior princesses will sing the refrain. Moira Egnish, you gave birth to this tribe. Moira Egnish, you gave us our lives. And when we sing this refrain, it's to Moira Egnish we give praise. No castle, no courtiers, she sits on no throne. This warrior queen leads an army of one. But she has a place at the table, though she sits where she's told. Every night at tea time, to watch this horror unfold. And the young princes, they're stuck to their screens. She wants to share with them what she knows, what she's seen. She wants to tell them what she's learnt, where she's been. But princes know better than warrior queens. But pretty soon she's already said the things she wished she kept to herself. Honesty, wisdom and truth, a dish too rich for this arrogant youth. And then one prince gets down from his throne, screaming, spitting. His hate fills the room. And he leans over the table, crossing the battle line. And Moira Egnish remembers the warrior princess's cry. Moira Egnish, you gave us our lives. But my life's over, she cries. And she tries to remember a happier time when she kicked off her shoes and danced in the rain, threw off her dress and swam in the lake. When did I get so old? When did I start to do as I was told? And when did I forget to have fun? My life's over. It's done. Now, her husband, daughter and mother had Alzheimer's, cancer and vascular dementia. It's the role of a wife, mother and daughter to be a 21st century warrior, carer. And then the warrior princesses cried, Moira Egnish, you gave us our lives. Moira Egnish, you gave birth to this tribe. And when we sing this refrain, It's to Morid Ignish we give praise, calling Boudica, Ethelfled, Cordelia, Maeve, Amy, Bonnie and Mary Read. And Morid Ignish remembered the happy days when she kicked off her shoes and danced in the rain, when she threw off her dress and swam in the lake. And the gaslight started to fade. And as it died, she smiled and said, I will survive. Thank you very much.